Scotland is rich in culture, and its rivers and glens, lochs and mountains make its scenery magnificent, a scenery that has inspired many of our wonderful artists. And here we are in Helensburgh, my hometown, and also the hometown of John Logie Baird, the man who discovered television. So we're rich in engineering and scientific skills as well as artistic ones. And in 1903, a house was designed by one of Scotland's favourite sons and a well-known architect throughout the world. And let's go and have a look at it. And here we are, the Hill House, Charles Rennie Mackintosh's famous domestic masterpiece. It was designed in 1902 and finished in 1903, and it stands high above the hill in Helensburgh, known throughout the world. Visitors come from all over to see this wonderful house, and you couldn't get a more glorious setting. And what's special about it? Well, I'll tell you, it's got a mixture of modern architecture that pleased the designers from Europe, and it's also got the Scottish vernacular. You can see the old castle forms, you can see the turrets. Mackintosh waxed lyrical using the whole repertoire of forms and functions in this house. And from these wonderful interiors inside, which are a mixture of fairy tale and delicacy, you can see the views that the family enjoyed down onto the river, where all this journey started. And that's where we're going now. Who'd have thought it? 150 feet off the ground, standing in the great Titan crane belonging to John Brown's Shipyard, one of the biggest shipbuilding firms in the world. And this crane was so named because it was the strongest crane, because it had to lift the engines, the big diesel engines, for the great liners that sailed across the oceans. What an experience for the visitors. Not only are you getting wonderful round-the-clock views here, but there's a museum that can tell you all about the history of Shipyard and the history of shipbuilding in Scotland. This is what made the river great. It's all started round about here on this great river. And these shipyards didn't only produce ships, because they produced, as we all know, famous comedians and football managers. So we've a lot to thank them for. Here we are, a very stately progress up the testing tank at the Denny Ship Model Experimental Tank. And what we're doing is what was done from 1883, is we're testing the hull of any of these great vessels that were built on the Clyde. We've been up the Titan, we've seen where the ships were built, and this is where the hulls were tested. The great ships were all built down to scale on a model size and run up to test the resistance against the water. And that was what the whole point was. In an era when speed was everything, Denny's were the first to start testing their hulls this way. And here we are at Barton Castle, perched high above us, 73 metres up in the air, on this great plug of basalt rock. It's been here since the Iron Age and was first written about by St Patrick in the 5th century. For long times in the whole period of its existence, it's been the refuge of the famous kings and queens of Scotland. Mary Queen of Scots, she was held here as a wee child before she was sent over to marry the young Dauphin of France. There's been many battles fought around it. No fear of the cannonballs now. You can come and visit the castle, go up its 552 steps to the top, and from there you can see Ben Lomond.
Ben Lomond National Memorial Park sits within the National Park and covers 20 square miles of mountain and forest here on the east side of Loch Lomond. It was designated in 1996 in memory of those who gave their lives in the World Wars, and the sculpture behind me acts as a focal point for the whole memorial park. But it's the landscape that is the memorial, and it's a landscape that people have been moving about in for a long time, thousands of years. On the National Trust for Scotland ground at Ben Lomond, we've found various signs of some of those activities people have been getting up to, from iron smelting. This is the waste from the bloomery slag. This was taking place sometime in the 1400s to 1600s. Even older is the flint arrowhead here in my left hand, which was found on the beach of Riverdennon Youth Hostel behind us here. We know this dates from 4,000 years ago. Perhaps it was a hunter that dropped it, perhaps it's from a burial that took place somewhere here. These are physical signs of the long extent of human activity in this area. And you can get a great glimpse into the story of people on the east side of Loch Lomond if you visit the Ardess Hidden History Trail from the National Trust for Scotland's Ranger Base, just 700 metres north of the car park, where you'll find signs of house sites, farming, the iron smelting and other activities that people were getting up to in this landscape over the centuries.
Throughout history, the scenery and the magnificent landscape around Loch Lomond and this beautiful River Clyde has attracted artists from the Glasgow boys and McCulloch and Knox right through to today. So all of this has created an area that artists and craftspeople have enjoyed, and it's been a source of their creativity.